Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at Nitewing's SPO320 open reflex sight. Stick around as we dive into the details. Trust me, you won't want to miss the verdict. So let's start off by listing all the specs. This optic is made from 7075 T6 aluminum with 11 brightness settings, and the first two are for night vision. It has 3 reticles to pick from. The first one is a single 2 MOA dot. The second is a 2 MOA dot in the middle of a 32 MOA circle. And the last one is a 32 MOA circle with no dot in the center of the circle. The optic has a 1x magnification. It's parallax free, IPX7 water resistant. The CR1632 battery will last up to 10,000 hours, and you can replace the battery from the tray on the side of the optic. It has shake awake technology that allows it to go into a standby mode when it hasn't been touched for a while, and then when you move it, it turns back on. And this optic has the popular RMR footprint. So now let's jump into the experience I had with this red dot. When I first mounted this optic and I looked through the window, I encountered some immediate issues. The circle reticles, with or without the dot in the middle, dominated the optic's window. This doesn't bother me personally, but I know there's a lot of you that don't like this. However, the real issue here was the blurriness of the reticle. The closer I positioned the reticle to the top or the sides of the optic's window, the more distorted it became, and it even doubled itself. Switching to just the dot helped a little bit, but the distortion was still noticeable. Keep in mind, this issue appears more pronounced in person compared to what you're seeing in this video. As far as the optic's design, I think it looks fine. My main issue is that the lens is positioned too far forward in the housing. This means that if you need to rack the slide against a hard surface, the glass will make contact before the aluminum housing does. With that being said, let's get into my not so scientific durability test. I racked the slide by hitting the optic against my safe, and then I gave the housing some solid hits with a handle of a screwdriver multiple times. This is the same treatment I give all the red dots that I review. So the lens ended up cracking in 2 different locations. I was actually a little impressed on how well it held up. Because the lens is positioned so far forward, I figured that the lens would take most of the abuse and then it would have cracked more or just outright shattered. I was curious to see if the lens would crack even more under recoil, so I took it to the range. The good news here is that the lens held up with no further damage. However, I did have some accuracy issues. So when I got home, I checked the optic zero with my laser bore sighting tool. I found out that the red dot was no longer zeroed. So while I was re-zeroing the optic with my laser bore sight, I did notice that the parallax wasn't up to par compared to the other optics that I've tested in the past. Keep in mind, with all red dots, you will get some parallax movement. It's very hard to show this on camera, but trust me, there's more movement with this optic. All right, guys, so let's wrap things up and weigh out the pros and cons. The pros are, this optic has a lower price point. The lens only cracked and didn't fully shatter. The cons are, parallax performance doesn't match its claims. The optic didn't keep zero. The lens protrudes too far forward, risking damage during slide racking. Reticle distortion and doubling in certain positions on the optic's lens. With all the factors considered, I can't in good conscience recommend this optic. If you're able to stretch your budget a bit, investing in a higher quality optic would be a better move in my opinion. If you found this review helpful, please show your support by hitting the thumbs up button. Drop your questions in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Also, if you're in the market for CCW insurance, check out Right to Bear. Link is in the description below. Use coupon code UBR10 to get 10% off your entire order. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing and spreading the word about the channel. Every subscriber helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.